everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kiki. Welcome back to another Starch Solution meals for maximum weight loss video. That was like really hard to say. Today I will be answering your questions about what condiments and spices I use to flavor my food, as well as what kitchen tools and gadgets that I cannot live without. Okay, so remember that if you are looking for maximum weight loss on your plant-based diet, that there's 3 golden rules to follow. And I will always preface the topic of weight loss first with my hope for you, and that's for balance. I encourage you to keep this journey about health and not just about the skinny. Be kind to yourself and don't worry so much about what the scale says. Don't weigh yourself too often. Just give yourself the nourishing food and trust your body to heal and respond the way it's designed to. Okay, so the 3 rules for maximum weight loss are: 1, no added fats, so no oils, no avocado, nuts, seeds, or high-fat soy products like tempeh and tofu. Moderate use of soy milk is okay. Number 2, whole foods only, so no processed foods. You want to eat the whole food, how it's grown in nature. And 3, serve yourself correctly. If you haven't watched my video on maximum weight loss with the Starch Solution, I'm going to link that in the description box. Make sure you check that out because I go over the 3 ways to serve yourself for maximum weight loss. I do the 50-50 plate. That's how I lost all the weight I needed to lose. So that's what I'll be showing you here today. Now, some of you have asked me, well, you're supposed to only eat whole foods, so why do you use ketchup? Condiments to me don't count. I do make sure my condiments are fat-free and don't have any oil in them, but they have a little sugar. I'm okay with that. It didn't hurt my weight loss at all. I'm gonna put ketchup on my potatoes. I like teriyaki sauce on my vegetables, so you know, you decide what you're okay with putting on your food. I'll show you what I use and then you guys can decide for yourselves what you want to use. All right, let's see the food. Okay, so for this spinach mushroom dish, it's really easy. You're just gonna need 8 ounces of mushrooms, some vegan Worcestershire sauce, make sure it's vegan, and some minced garlic and a little bit of salt if you want to use it. I'm also gonna wilt a bunch of spinach in at the end. So I'm gonna start off by water sauteing my mushrooms. And I find that I have to keep adding water through this whole process to get the mushrooms cooked down to where I want. So then I'm just gonna sprinkle them with a little bit of salt just to help them release their water. But you can skip this. I love this Worcestershire sauce. This is the organic one from Whole Foods and it is vegan. It adds really good flavor to the mushrooms. And then I like to sprinkle on a little smoked paprika. It gives it a really nice smoky flavor. So once they've cooked down a little bit, I'm gonna add some of this minced garlic. And as you can see, it's all cooking down really nicely, and I do just keep adding a little bit of water at a time to help the mushrooms keep cooking. So now I'm gonna add spinach. I add several big handfuls because a lot wilts down to a little. And I am gonna add a little bit of water to this just to help the spinach wilt. And there you have it. It is all cooked down and ready to eat. For my sweet potato breakfast, I always have a bag of baked sweet potatoes in the fridge so that they're ready to go in the morning. So I'm just gonna quickly peel this one, mash it down, and heat it up in the microwave. Then I like to add a sliced banana and some frozen blueberries. So I'm going to show you guys what's in my spice cabinet. It's not very exciting. You guys know I'm a simple, no-fuss eater, but you asked, so I will deliver. So this is my spice cabinet. It's pretty bare, I think, compared to most people's. On this shelf, I keep the things that I use all the time. So pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, oregano, and Italian seasonings back there. I keep salt in here. This is just big salt. I don't actually use that. This is like a smoky rub that I make. I'll be showing you guys how I make that later today. Smoked paprika, mustard powder. I love truffle salt on my potatoes. So good. And then I found this at the store the other day, and it is so good. It doesn't have olive oil in it. They call it olive oil and herb, and it is amazing. It's vegan. It has dried olive in it and some macadamia nuts, but it's not, you know, you just sprinkle so little on that I'm not worried about the fat content in it. So I really enjoy this. But other than that, that's like spices that I use. I do have like poultry seasoning for cabbage sometimes, table tasty, more nutritional yeast, rosemary, garlic, just tons of, you know, different spice blends. Those are the soup bases that I like. Oh, and this says butter, but it's not. It's the same. It's vegan. It's just like this one, and they call it butter, but there's no butter in it. You guys can see it does have some macadamia nuts in it, but the fat content is really low. You're not using a whole lot. But again, you guys decide what you're okay with. But I like to sprinkle these on my veggies. Condiments. So we do have a hot sauce problem. I'll be the first to admit it. We have seriously every type of hot sauce. Like every time I go to the grocery store, I look for new hot sauces because we love hot sauces, and we put those on our vegetables and on our potatoes. Red curry paste. We also have a mustard problem. We have truffle mustard, spicy brown mustard, Dijon mustard, horseradish mustard, which is so good. Yeah, Taco Bell sauce. I get this at Walmart. Got like ginger paste and wasabi. I can't live without ketchup. And then my husband really likes the sweet chili sauce. This is the Panda Express one. There is one that's cleaner than this one. This one isn't that bad. It does have sugar in it. You know, again, you guys decide what you're okay with. A little bit on your veggies for me is fine. I did find these fat-free dressings, but I don't think they're really good. But they are out there if you can find them. They're by Maple Grove Farms of Vermont, I don't think. Can you see that? And they have a couple flavors. I didn't love them, so got soy sauce. Worcestershire sauce is great, especially on mushrooms. But that's about it for condiments. Really, I think we could live off of ketchup and mustard and hot sauce. Hey guys, so I'm just gonna steam up my veggies for lunch, and I love this bamboo steamer. I don't know what it's called. You can get them in an Asian market. I got mine on Amazon. I'll make sure and share a link with you guys. So on the bottom, I put the veggies that take longer to steam. So I'm gonna put some frozen broccoli in there, some mushrooms, and then I like these carrots. My kids call them carrot chips. And then on the top, I'll just put the veggies that don't take as long to steam, and I'm just doing some zucchini and yellow squash and some cabbage. So as a family, we are trying to eat more brown rice, but we really do not like brown rice. So we've started mixing half white rice and half brown rice, and it's actually really tasty this way, and we're seeming to do fine with more brown rice. So for lunch, I'm just gonna have the steamed veggies and rice. And again, remember, if you're going for weight loss, you want to do 50-50. And then I just make this sauce out of soy sauce and rice vinegar, and I'll put the recipe for that in the description box, but you can use any sauce that you like. Just make sure it's fat-free. I really like the teriyaki coconut aminos. Those are good too. Okay, so there's basically 6 appliances that I have that I can, well, this isn't an appliance. There's 6 things that I cannot live without on a whole food plant-based lifestyle. So the first one is my steaming basket. This is just an Asian bamboo steaming basket, and I got it on Amazon. I will link it in the description box for you guys. And it basically has 2 tiers, which is great, because I have a family of 4 and we eat a ton of vegetables at each meal, so this allows me to steam a whole bunch up. And it comes with this ring, and what you do is you basically take your pot, you put some water in it, and then you set your ring on top, and that allows the basket to sit on top of the pot, and then you can steam up your veggies. And I put the veggies that steam up the quickest up here so they don't get over steamed down here. So I put like broccoli and other cruciferous vegetables down here, and then more delicate vegetables up here like squash. And my veggies come out perfect every time. So this is a NutriBullet, it's a Magic Bullet. And I've seen something like this, I don't know if it's the same brand, at Walmart. My dad got this for me like over a decade ago. Thank you, Daddy. And I use it all the time. I use it to make sauces and puree little things, to make dressings. It's just easier than the blender, because if you don't have enough fluid in the blender, then it doesn't blend. So I personally can't live without this. Okay, as far as blenders go, I chose not to do a Vitamix, one, because of the cost, and two, just because the Blendtec seemed like it would do everything I needed it to do. It's really dirty. I hope you can't tell from there. It's got like oats on it and other stuff. But I love the Blendtec. It's a high-speed, high-power blender. It gets my nut cheeses really smooth. It purees my beans, because I make fat-free refried beans all the time. So I could not live without this. My kids make smoothies. It is absolutely essential in my home to have a high-speed, high-power blender. All of the things I'm showing you guys, I will look for them and put them in the links in the description box below. So the last three appliances that I cannot live without are, one, my air fryer, my crock pot, and my Instapot. Now this air fryer is huge. I bought it used on Craigslist. I didn't know what to look for in an air fryer, except that this was like the first one that popped up and it was cheap. And apparently it's for air frying a whole chicken, which is why it's so big. But all that means for us is that we can put in a ton of potatoes or whatever we want to get crispy, and it does it. Because the other air fryers I've seen can be pretty small, which is great if it's just you and maybe one other person, but the four of us definitely use this air fryer all the time. And it is a new wave. We'll try to find which one it is exactly, no guarantees. And again, I will try to link all these things in the description box below. So my crock pot, I know that my Instapot should be able to replace my crock pot, but I pretty much exclusively use my crock pot for cooking beans. I know I could do it in the Instapot, but I just like how they come out in the crock pot. So I'll let them cook all day long, and then at the end of the day when they're nice and soft, then I turn it off. Whereas with the Instapot, I'm still learning to use it, and I don't get my times well, and then I get frustrated because I have to keep cooking the beans and it's a mess, and so maybe one day I won't need my crock pot, but I still really love the crock pot for cooking beans. So if you had to make a cut, you could probably cut out the crock pot and just stick with the Instapot. This Instapot is amazing. I am a novice at using this. I really don't know how to use it. It cracks me up when people are like, can you put up more Instapot recipes? And I'm like, I need help. Teach me how to use this thing. So I cook rice in here, but mostly what I do in here is steam potatoes. I'll put, 15 pounds of potatoes in here, and this thing will steam them up, and then they are done for the week. That is it, guys. Those 6 things are what I use all the time. Again, if you had to pick and choose, gosh, if I had to pick, I would stay with my air fryer and my blender. If I could only do 2, like air fryer and blender. But you need either a crock pot or an Instapot to cook beans if you're gonna be cooking beans and stuff like that. So anyway, those are the things I use. Check them out. Let me know what things you guys can't live without. Okay, so for dinner today, I just want to have some roasted veggies. So I've got some mushrooms, zucchini, sweet onion, and red bell pepper. And all I do is season these with salt and garlic powder. And then I'm going to roast them on 425 for about 20 to 30 minutes, just until everything starts to get crispy. They can get a little dry. I don't mind it, but if you don't want them to get dry, you can put veggie broth on them halfway through, or some balsamic vinegar is really good. I'm too lazy for that, so into the oven they go. So for these crispy potatoes, which are my absolute favorite, I'm just gonna take already steamed potatoes and I'm gonna cut them in half. Then I'm gonna take my fork and scrape the insides out and almost into like a mashed potato. and these crisp up really good. So I'm gonna put them in my air fryer and I'm gonna season them with this smoky rub that I make. It's like smoked paprika, salt, garlic powder, mustard powder. I'll write it in the description box for you guys. But I season them really good, and then I'm gonna air fry them on 400 for about 30 minutes. Now my vegetables are done and ready to go. You guys can see how crispy and delicious they look. All right, potatoes are done. Look at those. Are those not the most gorgeous things you have ever seen? They are so, so good. I could not decide what frozen fruit to have tonight for dessert, so I decided to have a little bit of everything. So I have some frozen blueberries, frozen cherries, and frozen pineapple. It is so good. I literally did not get out of my pajamas today, which means it was a good day. All right, guys, so that is it for today. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Plantiful Kiki and on Facebook at the Plantiful Kiki page for more food and lifestyle inspiration. Remember to make this journey about health and not just about the skinny. You are beautiful. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.